With the BBC chief George Entwistle facing the Commons Culture Committee today, the controversy surrounding Jimmy Savile is starting to resemble the Murdoch-Gate phone hacking case. Once again, a media corporation is being accused of turning a blind eye and its head being questioned by the same group of MPs. What started out as a sex abuse scandal is now growing into a full public inquiry into the practices of one of UK's biggest media corporation. I'm Zong Tran, Westminster News, London.
Right outside what used to be the Kendall Library, a pop-up library has emerged. Here, local residents have donated hundreds of books to sustain a resource for the community. Sal Youssef is one of 10 local volunteers who helps run the setup.
We wanted to maintain that library provision was still being provided from this land, despite the closure of the library. So what we decided to do was set up a small book lending facility.
Mark Twain opened the library in 1900, and over a century later, in December 2011, Brent Council refused the local residents' offer to run the library for free. Although the community protested the decision, the council did not budge and handed the freehold over to All Souls College.
I really miss it, and I want to go back. There's a section where you can get specific books. Here, there's just any random book. You can't even find the book you actually want.
On November 7th, All Souls College will decide whether they'll accept the community's proposal to run the library. Residents like Richard Cross believe the decision is vital to Kensal Rise.
Huge number of people for whom the library would be a vital resource. Illiteracy is unacceptably high in this area, for example. They need a library. Young people need a library. A library is a classless resource. All classes, all generations need a library.
The community hopes that the pledges from all across the country will win over All Souls in 2 weeks, giving these children back their library. Gavin Barnes, Westminster News, Kensal Rise.
Traffic shut down throughout the day on London's major shopping street, but it certainly was not car-free. Everything from the first of brand names which have grown to be renowned to more unordinary creations of the early motoring years. The Regent Street Motor Show featured machines dating back to as early as 1893. The event attracted thousands of visitors, many of whom dress up to suit the era of the diverse number of veteran cars.
There's been so many, and there really has been some really, really lovely, unusual ones. There has been quite a few that really are amazing. No, I think it's been very, very good, very well organised, incredibly well organised, really.
The show comes a day before the long-standing annual London to Brighton Veteran Car Run, which will see 449 of the old cars make the route from Hyde Park.
The significance really is actually achieving the goal of doing 63 miles and, of course, celebrating the birth of motoring in the UK.
The birth of motoring, indeed. The original run had taken place to mark the passing into law of the Locomotives on the Highway Act. The annual run has gathered veteran car owners far and wide, including Gil Foucault from the US.
In order to celebrate the ability to drive an automobile on the road here rather than horse and carriage, they drove in 1896 from London to Brighton. So this is the longest running car event in the entire world.
Organized by the Royal Automobile Club, the weekend of events makes for an insightful stroll through the history and potentials of UK's motoring industry. Zong Tran, Westminster News, London.